us now.
See, you can't hear.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm just, I'll be quiet.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. I made a poem. Did you hear that?
Was very good.
Yeah, it was very good. I know. I brought my sidekick today.
And she's smiling a little bit
Yeah.
after the kitty.
Yeah, guys, so those of you who don't know, I wasn't here yesterday because it was a bad day at my house.
Sad.
My cat just stunningly had an attack of some sort, and it was horrible, horrible. And I had to race to the emergency vet with him, and it was not to be.
And we're all sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Dylan. The
Dylan,
sweetest.
I love that name.
The sweetest black tomcat you ever.
Oh, he was black.
He was sleek. He called him my Black Panther.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he was
Nice.
and he had long white whiskers and white, eyebrows.
White eyebrows.
Yeah, white eyebrows and
Oh,
white
nice.
whiskers, and he'd had a rough go. He first 4 years in some hoarder's home, rescued, brought to a shelter, and then in a cage at a shelter for almost a year.
Oh, dear.
And then I lucked out and brought him home.
Oh.
Yeah. He had a good last half. Oh dear. So yeah, I'm just discombobulated. I was telling Joanne, did I even introduce you? No.
Not yet. That's all right. That's all right.
I told her I'm
There's time.
discombobulated.
There's time.
This is Joanne Rogers and Mrs. Rogers, I guess. Is that what happened? You ended up just being called Mrs. Rogers to his Mr. Rogers?
No, actually not.
Not?
No, I wasn't very much involved in his program. I tried to stay out of the way
So
as
you
much
were-
as I could.
You were never on it.
I was on it occasionally.
Were you?
but
In what guise?
Real life time things, helping, going with him when he had to go to the hospital for something, and he would do those to show kids about going to the hospital. And I would be on hand for that. I think I appeared on the program, somebody told me, 4 times.
4 times.
4 different times, yes.
In how many years?
In 50 years.
In 50 years.
Yes.
So, you were not somebody who sought out the camera.
No, I'm not. And when Fred died, I was immediately asked to get awards on his behalf and things like that. And I said, I'm not Fred.
Yes!
I'm just not at all Fred. And I'm a pianist, and it's just fun. I've always been fine going out on a stage.
Right, and I did want to, I was going to point out that this is a professional classical
That was my thing.
pianist.
I was a piano player, and I could go out on a stage and be perfectly comfortable if I had a piano to sit down and play, But to speak was always harder. And
But you've had to learn.
I did, yes, to some extent, and to some extent I just do my best.
Well,
I give my honest self. It's what Fred used to say. That's the best gift you can do. So.
That's right. Did you learn from him?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Are you better for having had him in your life?
I hope so.
I think you're
I
pretty
hope so.
good, but yeah. I didn't know you before. I didn't see the reclamation he did of you. But
No, but Fred got us together.
Fred got us together.
Yes, he got us together.
Tell the
Well,
story.
I think he knew you, and yes, I'm sure he did. And so,
got us together.
Yes,
I thought,
got us together.
Yes, Fred.
You and I.
Yes, we met because of
And,
right. 'cause
and
I
I
knew
was
him
I
first.
was sitting at at a McDonald's.
McDonald's. Oh God, that is the funniest story.
And I saw Lynn and Sam.
Well, you were, yeah. This is the McDonald's in East Liberty, and Sam and I had gone through the drive-through, and she'd gone a little before us, and then went and parked by the railroad tracks.
Yes.
By the cyclone fence by the railroad tracks, and we sidled up beside you, not knowing it was you. I don't know. So we turned and saw us.
Yes.
And I remember one of the first things you said. Don't tell Fred.
Oh, Fred was so disciplined
About his
everything
food and everything. But I mean, he was
he was a vegetarian.
One way.
And but you know,
and there she is chowing down on burgers and
fries,
and fries. Yeah, well, that's when I think we sort of bonded, when both of us, doing things we weren't supposed to do.
But I got up my courage and came over to say hi and introduce myself.
That's it.
Because I had heard about Sam and I wanted to see him.
Oh, gosh.
So.
Well, aren't we lucky?
Well, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Because this one, gotta tell you. So okay, I thought you were going to tell us how you and Fred met. You were at college together.
Yes, we were. Yes.
We
were at Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, and
you were from.
I was from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So it wasn't far for me to go.
I still don't think of you as Southern.
You know, I'm glad. I'm glad. Pittsburgh is such home for me. And the only thing I ever would have liked would have been to have been born here.
Really?
Yes, I really would have liked that. But no, I'm not a native. But I feel like one.
You're I think you're considered.
I feel
a
like
native.
one.
So you guys were both.
Fred's home was Latrobe.
Right.
And I used to call it the garden spot of the world. He
Sarcastic.
called it that, and I took it up.
Was that sarcastic? Or
No.
So, because it was beautiful.
Because it was, but it was beautiful in feelings too.
Was it?
The people were just so wonderful, and it was really a wonderful place to have grown up.
Well, so
his mother and dad had such close friends. They all were in school together growing up, and everybody to Fred was either uncle or aunt. It was aunt this and uncle that, and I never knew who he was really related to for a long time.
So that warm community,
yes.
Is that sort of where he always had a sense of sort of a safe neighborhood as a child? He really had.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
And he had a good childhood.
He did.
Even though he
had difficulties. He came along in that era of the Lindbergh baby who was kidnapped
and
killed. Everybody who had more than 15 cents
got scared
that their baby was going to be taken, and so he was a little overprotected.
Really?
And that made him kind of be the rich kid, you know. And he was very uncomfortable about that.
You never think of him as a man of wealth or something. He just doesn't.
No, and he was sensitive about it.
Yeah, because he did come from wealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comfortable wealth.
Comfortable wealth.
Uh-huh.
Not gazillionaire,
no,
but you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't turn it
definitely.
down. No, yeah.
I was trying to think how my mother used to put it. It was wonderful. I can't remember now. But anyway, it'll come to me.
You know, isn't that true that mothers did have all these wonderful, even, so I think of your generation as having all these wonderful little phrases.
Yes.
Because my mom speaks with them, and she got them from her father, so that's
right.
The way it works.
That's right.
And I'm not so sure that we're carrying it on.
I sometimes will read books of Ann Tyler and people like that just to feel back at it again. You know?
Really? Does
and
she
the
use
little
a
things.
lot?
Yes. She's an amazing writer. and she's very much has these little phrases and things that she says that I love. It makes me smile and sometimes laugh out loud.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, you were a music major.
Yeah, and Fred was.
And Fred was a music major,
Yes.
so that's how it was.
I was piano and he was composition. But he played piano beautifully.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
And so he took piano lessons and was trained classically there.
what did he think he was gonna do?
I think he thought he was going into the ministry.
Right. So
But he knew that he would then need to go to seminary. So,
So after college, he went to the seminary.
well, not directly, no.
No.
Because he decided in his last year at college, he saw television for the first time, and this is how old we were, and 90 now. And
He would be 90
he would
now.
be 90, and I would be 90 also. I am 90.
90. Yeah, right.
And
Looking good, babe.
And you know, it's more and more. It's like, oh, tell us about the Civil War kind of thing.
Oh.
And then it feels like, he was a pioneer in television.
So television truly was in its
Yes.
infancy. He sees it for the first time and thinks.
Was
He
very,
thinks in terms of a ministry using it?
well,
What's he
no,
thinking?
I don't think so. I think that came later.
So he was blown away just by its potential.
Yes, he was. And then even more so when he found out that there was such a thing as educational television coming. And he heard about that. He was very impressed. And when he told the people where he was working at NBC in New York, they said, oh, you're crazy. You know, look what you could do here. You can, in just a short while, you can be anything you want to be here.
Why would you want to go to
Yes, why do you
educational-
want to go anywhere else, And so, but he managed to escape that, and off he went. Because he did a lot of things he enjoyed very much there, but there were things he didn't enjoy. And
He was always, I was thinking of him and thinking, he presented himself as such a gentle and kind
yes,
man. And I don't mean to say presented himself because he was.
yes, he was.
The first thing everybody always says when they met him is, and he's just, it was
Yes.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's just really exactly who he is. But I was thinking about being a man and being a strong person. And I think in many ways he's one of the strongest people I've ever known. Strong in his principles.
Amen.
And yet you would not say, Fred Rogers, now there's
No.
a hunk of man.
I think that's why that thing came out about the tattoos and the being a Navy SEAL and all that. I think that somebody wanted him to be tough, to look.
So
look
those
as if he was
persistent
tough.
rumors, a lot of people do believe that he
Yes.
was a Navy SEAL. What are some of the other absurdities?
That he wore tattoos. That he had a lot of tattoos and wore sweaters to cover them on his arms.
We are debunking those right now. No tattoos.
No,
But
no Navy SEAL.
So we have this toxic sense of masculinity.
Yeah.
And you want a strong man. Fred Rogers. He would speak truth to power. He would go into battle against the United States Congress and win.
Yes.
He would,
He was a tamer, don't you think? He tamed
he
Senator
Pastorius. He just, but there was this other incident, I think Jean Marie, our friend,
Yes,
told me about
yes.
it, that was it Wendy's came out with some kind of a commercial.
Burger King.
Burger King. With a commercial that used...
The guy looked just like Fred.
They were using
Very,
a guy
yes.
who looked just like Fred. Well, Fred sees it and gets very upset. Right?
Yes, he was upset by it. Evidently, I did not see this happen, but I'm told that I think he told me about it, and he said I decided that the best thing to do was to call the president.
So I mean, this is Fred.
Burger King.
See, there's Fred. He gets upset. He sees that someone who looks like him is being used to sell burgers, and he thinks,
You don't sue first.
Right. And everybody else would call their lawyer and say,
Yes.
And Fred,
Sue them.
I guess I'll call Mr. Burger King.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And I believe that Jean, for some reason, might have been doing her story. on
Maybe
it,
she was.
And she
She
was
might have
in the room. She saw his
Yes.
end of the call.
I expect you're right.
And he wasn't on that phone more than 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
And the guy, the CEO of Burger King, was clearly, yes, of course, Mr. Rogers will. We will
have that off
We
the
will
air.
off the air as soon as I hang up.
As soon as it's possible. It may take I think he said it may take a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But
and
but
they
we'll
would
get
have-
it
yes.
off. And I remember Gene telling me that Fred, with his quiet voice, and I was just wondering that do you have children? Yes. Well, if your daughter truly trusted somebody very much, and then she saw him,
Yes.
I don't know, he just sort of made it so obvious to this guy. And you imagine the amount of money that went into a national televised advertising campaign
Yeah.
that gets dropped like that.
Yes, exactly.
And it wasn't a phone call saying, I'm going to sue you.
No.
It was a phone call saying, can I ask you to look at this from another perspective?
Yes. And I can't remember, the exact details of
I
that.
can't either.
But but that's how he liked to handle things that way.
I know.
So, but I was going back a little bit to when you were talking about, did he go into television?
As a way to do a ministry.
Yes. And I think that came a lot later. But when he did go into television, he was already seeing it, at first, I think, on the children's television. They only had what they would consider entertainment.
Yes, yes.
And I think Fred saw in educational television something beyond that. He had been doing something that was on called the Children's Corner.
Right.
And that was pretty much entertainment. Yeah, that
yeah.
was pretty much entertainment. And I think I think he began to want more. He was a serious person.
He was.
And he didn't consider himself an entertainer at all.
No, he saw himself
That was
as...
anything. Josie was the entertainer.
He was an educator / minister.
Yes.
So he was really a very religious man.
Yes, he was. He was.
More religious than you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think, yes, absolutely.
You backslider.
I'm still looking
Right.
around. I'm still looking around.
You are. You're still sort of like, I don't know. I don't quite get this. Okay, so this has been a big year.
We hope for the best, don't
Yeah.
we?
Big year for
It has.
Fred
It's been
Rogers.
wonderful. And we've got more to come. There's a book coming out in the fall.
Who's writing the book?
Maxwell King.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And it's finished pretty much. So it's just now, it's been sent to the publisher, and it's
Is it a full biography?
It's a biography. It's the authorized biography, the one that, that
Had
there've been some books about him in other ways
sure.
about his work and so
Right,
forth. And
right.
they're very, very good. They're not, but Max's point was when he was director of the Fred Rogers Center, he said we have to do a biography because if we don't, somebody else will.
Somebody else will, and we want a measure of control here.
So he wanted McCullough to do it.
And McCullough
And
said no.
McCullough had like 2 more things after the thing he was doing now, And, but he was very, very nice, and he said to Max, "Why don't you do it?" He said, I'll be there, giving advice, whatever you need, and I didn't know that he had said that to Max, but when the next time the family met, and he told us that McCullough couldn't do it, I said, "Why don't you do it?"
Everybody was having the same idea.
Yes.
Well, Maxwell King was his background was
Publishing. He was
publishing. He was the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Right. And he comes from a family of writers and
Right.
such.
Right. And he is a true appreciator of
Yes.
Fred
Yes.
and his work.
And I may be talking out of school because there will be a formal
Announcement about the book.
Yes. So
So don't tell
shh, don't.
She didn't.
I didn't
What do you
say
think?
it.
Who do you think you are, Rudy Giuliani? Jeez. Shout, really, what a mouth.
Oh,
No
dear.
controlling her. No controlling her at
No,
all.
tell it all.
Okay. Oh, you said something interesting to me when we were driving in the car, and you said, speaking of Rudy Giuliani, you said Fred never wanted anything political.
No, because
Or you mentioned
It's
religious.
always-
Here's a minister.
oh well, yes.
That blew me away.
That had to do with rules of the air, pretty much. You would get right away if you mentioned specific religion.
Religion, you would be in trouble.
Yes, yes.
Really?
Yes.
So he steered clear of religion, this minister. He steered clear of politics.
Yes.
So no one would ever,
He was fearful that parents would take offense.
and then he'd lose the
and,
children.
And he would lose the children, yes. And he didn't want to have had that happen. So he was pretty low key on that.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. And yet he met so many, you guys went to the White House and all that kind of
Yes.
hoo-ha. Did you enjoy that?
He did things for whoever was
Whoever
doing
was, he
things.
did it for the
Yes,
presidency.
Yes.
Right.
And but he went and gave Bill Clinton a trolley, and there's a picture of that, and Bill Clinton loved it.
I bet.
Yes.
I bet.
That was very nice, and
W. Didn't you go?
yes, it was George W.
Yeah.
who gave him the Medal of Freedom.
Medal of Freedom. And who I bet was a charming fellow.
Yes, he was dear.
Yeah, I
He
bet.
was
I
dear.
heard that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he was.
And
And my gosh, doesn't he look wonderful now?
he looks like the happiest person in the world. God, thank God I'm rid of that. Well, you just lucked out that it wasn't Trump in the presidency.
Well,
Can
that's
you imagine?
right.
Fred would
Yeah,
be.
I don't
Fred
know.
would be.
I don't
was-
know. Yeah,
he
I
wouldn't
don't
have
know.
gone. Would
I
he?
don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, and he didn't much want to go anyway, no
Yeah,
matter
right,
what. And
right.
he said to them, "Oh," they told him it would be on July 9th.
Yeah.
The guy that called, he said, "That's our wedding anniversary. That's our 50th wedding anniversary. I won't be able to make that."
I
And
guess
so
they strong-armed him.
gentleman who called him said, "Well, that's just wonderful. We'll be able to celebrate with you."
So I guess
So
you
that
don't
was
say
that.
no to the
That
White
was
House.
that.
You
He
don't
tried.
say no. Right.
And we did celebrate the anniversary there. That was nice.
So I wanna,
And I'll tell you who else was there.
oh yeah, who else was getting?
Mr. Cosby.
Oh my God! Was he got a medal the same time Fred did?
And I heard somewhere that
Have
they
they-
took it away from him.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, he's being stripped of
Also,
honors and
also Fred was with him on
another occasion.
yes, the thing at the Rose Parade.
Really?
Yes.
The Rose.
You know that the football thing.
Yeah.
And the Rose Parade, and it was just before Fred had surgery, and he was quite physically uncomfortable at that time, and because they were riding together in this car in the parade, he the one who was the third person, I can't think who that was, who was with them, always was wanting to stand up a lot. You know, stand up and the
wave.
other two would have to do it as well, you know. So Fred said to Bill Cosby, I am quite uncomfortable. Can you see if he'll sit down? And so Bill Cosby said to him, Fred, he said, if you're having pain, just reach over and grab my leg and squeeze. Just squeeze, it'll help.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
And you know,
There you go.
there you go.
People are complicated, huh?
People are complicated.
We always like to make them one thing or the other. So
Sometimes people are good and do the things they should, but people are bum bum. But it was a song that he wrote about. Sometimes people are good, sometimes they're not so good.
yeah. Wow. So his interactions
yes,
with Cosby were
yes.
very, very.
And I have to
good.
tell you
Interesting.
too, he was not that impressed with Bill Cosby's work. So, you know,
Really?
he was entertained by it, but he wasn't.
Now, I would think he would be because Cosby didn't use bad words.
No. I think, you know, and we watched it frequently, but he must have heard something
Oh boy.
that he didn't share. 'Cause he never shared things like that.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. You said there's a book coming out, which we didn't hear.
No.
And okay, so we also heard the big to-do about this movie with Tom Hanks.
Oh, that, but
I want to get to the other one.
Yes,
That's
yes,
the biggie.
yeah.
So that made a big splash. Tom Hanks playing
yes,
Fred.
yes.
But the book, I mean the movie, you don't know who the guy playing the journalist is because it's from the
No,
journalist's
it's really,
point
yes,
of view.
yes.
And I would think that
It's not a bio. The movie's not a bio.
not a bio.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So
So we're a little, and in fact, it's so not a bio that she has one line. I mean, your character.
yes, I think just
One
I'm
line?
in one scene. Yes. So
And do we?
I don't have to be involved that much.
No.
No.
So you don't know who's playing you. Or
I have
anything
no
like that.
idea. No.
If it's just one line, you should do it.
Put on a black wig.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. You'd be playing your
Yes, yes.
60-year-old
Right,
self, right? So
right.
that's not going to work.
Right.
But there's another.
But it's nice that Tom Hanks going to do it.
It is.
And
I mean, if you could have anybody.
yes,
He's such a good actor. Disappears
Yes.
into roles.
yes.
But the thing is, that's not the great movie that's out there or going to be out there. It's a documentary.
It's a documentary that's
Yeah.
already out there, and it's just blowing people away.
It's blowing people away.
Yeah.
They put the trailer up on the internet, and I I watched it, I thought I was crying and laughing, and you've seen it,
I have seen it, but not on the big screen.
not on the big screen.
And I'm sure that makes a huge difference, really.
But you think this nails it?
Oh, I think it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So when are we gonna see it?
It'll be released. They're doing it in for movie festivals now,
Right.
all over the country.
Right.
And it was premiered back in January, so they have a pretty good idea of.
Was it premiered at Sundance?
At Sundance.
Okay.
Yes.
And it got good,
Oh yes.
lot of good press
Yes.
coming out of Sundance.
And
But what,
it's all there. There are these festivals all over the country,
Right,
and
right.
it's doing that. But it's released in June 9th, I believe it is. June
that's-
8th or 9th.
that doesn't sound
To
so
theaters.
far away,
No,
so
it's
it's in
in-
a month.
A month now.
And there'll be is there gonna be a to-do here? No.
I don't think so.
And you don't even know where it'll be,
No.
on
no.
what screens?
Or- And if they do, it'll be probably, because you have to have, for instance, they were thinking about doing something special at the Biome,
Yeah,
and it doesn't have the equipment they need
to have the,
for doing the film.
Huh.
And if you do it on another theater, it's not room enough. They've been experiencing huge crowds.
that's wonderful. I can't
So-
wait to see it.
So it'll probably be somewhere around the area soon after it's released. So,
Okay, well, let's talk about the story of it though, because it's interesting. You and Fred were very close to Yo-Yo Ma.
yes. We knew him for many years. It was the kind of thing when you see Yo-Yo.
On his show,
Yes, you see him
And that's how they
twice on the show.
did the friendship precede his being on the show, or did the?
Yes, it did.
It did.
We knew him for I think the first time he came here to play, and he was a teenager.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he just gets better and better.
So you really had a close friendship,
Yes.
and you got to know his children.
We got to know his son.
There's
His
just a
son
son.
was particularly loved the program.
Well,
And
I remember.
so
I think in the documentary, there's a
the
a
grown
bit.
up and the grown up son is on the documentary.
yes, but he played for Fred when he was a little kid at the piano. Right?
Yes, he did.
'Cause I think that was in the trailer.
That was, and he played something with his dad.
Yes.
And it was he said he only played twice with his dad ever, with him at the piano, and that was one of the times. And it was. He talks about that on the well. I'm confused now about what was on the special program that
On the
PBS did.
Yeah.
But
right.
because he was on that quite a
Oh,
bit.
well, then maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm all mixed up too.
Yes, it is.
But it was Yo-Yo Ma's son, who
Nicholas,
is
yes.
Nicholas,
And Nicholas is a producer of the
documentary that's
Yes.
so amazing, because he
Yes.
had he loved Fred and he wanted to do this.
right.
And he teamed up with a veteran documentarian,
Yes,
the guy who, I think,
Morgan Neville,
Morgan Neville, who did,
20 Feet from Stardom. That's hard to remember.
No, on the way down here, she's telling me now. I sometimes can't find,
Words.
the word. So y'all have to help me. And I said, Joanne, I'm constantly not remembering what. And see, you've been bailing me out left and right.
You relax me to the point, though, that I'm talking to you as I would talk anyway, and everybody's just
Yeah, eavesdropping. or
yes,
something.
yes,
Right.
yes.
So
I'm glad to see you all, though.
yeah, I can't wait to see this. So you developed really strong friendships with some pretty heavy duty musicians. So Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo's one of those people that he's very like Fred.
Really?
Very like him in personality. Even so far as his whimsy is concerned, they're alike in that way. Yo-Yo's lots of fun. He's very outgoing and lots of fun, and young in that way. You know,
He's getting older now.
But his child is still very much there. Yeah.
His child is very much there.
Fred used
I
to
think
say,
I've lost my child. Yeah.
the child is in me still, and sometimes not so still.
Oh, wow. Van Cliburn was a good friend of yours.
Yes, he was.
Now, how'd that happen?
Well, that probably was helped along because we were both Southerners. He was like
Southern
a little
pianist.
brother to me.
Okay, okay.
And we knew him before he was famous.
Before he won the big Russian Tchaikovsky thing.
Yes.
So you knew him? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Pre-fame.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And my goodness, he was special. And during the days when Fred was comatose, he told me, he said, I want you to call me every day. I want you to call me. And he said, I practice at night, and he said, I'm going to give you that phone number, because if it's some other phone number, nobody will answer. And he said, I want to talk with you. I want to see how he is. So I would call him every night, and I called him the night he died.
Wow.
So he was just a good friend, a really sweet friend, a very complex person.
Yeah. And he didn't, he's gone now too.
He's gone, yes. He didn't live that long.
No. Dang.
He had long genes, but his mother and father
Lived longer.
Yes.
But not him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so I really...
Well, music helps to bring people together. If you know music, if you feel it, and so a lot of times it's just the fact of the music.
Yeah, it is true.
Yes.
It's true.
And with Van, it was that way. But Van was also, let's have so-and-so over to tea, and he was just a very easy and a difficult person to have around. He always stayed in a hotel, and he would play the concert. Then you had to go and get him packed, because he wasn't going to make it. He was sleeping in, and he wasn't going to make it to the plane, and so you had to get him packed and get him to the airport, and practically get him on the plane.
So in that regard, difficult.
Yes. So somebody had to travel with him all the time.
Huh. Gosh, people are
Yes.
strange.
Yeah.
Raymond writes, I'm sure Mrs. Rogers hears this constantly, but I am a 58-year-old man. Most would describe me as a hard man who was raised in a family of hard men. Growing up with Mr. Rogers, I learned that hard is not the same as strong, and soft is not the same as weak. I'm 14 years into raising a granddaughter, and I believe I have managed to teach her Fred's lesson.
Aww.
This hard man will tear up when I think about the ripples of Fred's kindnesses.
Oh, that is so nice. That is so
nice.
It's wonderful.
I asked you once if you thought Fred understood the impact he had had.
I think some of it he felt. I think he knew because of the kids. I think he knew enough about kids to know that which ones were able to be impacted.
But I just occurred to me, speaking of impact, the impact of being recognized by generations meant he could never be anywhere and not be approached.
Yeah, that's right.
Constantly.
That's,
Constantly.
yes, but and you know, it was okay with him. He really preferred to be home for meals.
But it
But
was
when we
okay
did,
when people
yes,
approached.
he really was.
And I know people will tell stories of how he took the time. You know, I said, "Oh, Mr. Rogers,"
Yeah.
and darned if he didn't, you know, focus
Yes,
on you.
yeah.
Um,
He was fascinated with people, just fascinated. He loved kids.
how
He-
hard was it though for you and your kids to share him with so many?
Well, as we grow older together, they've been telling me things that are interesting to me about. And it's not as bleak as I thought, you know.
Oh, you were worried that
Yes,
it was
yes,
really
I
hard
thought it
on
was
your
really
boys.
hard on them. And
They're saying no.
they're saying no, that they dealt with it. My younger son felt that the worst he said was that, you know, everybody felt that he was their dad.
Well, see, that's the
And-
thing. I mean, I think
And he had to deal with that.
yeah, you know, he's
But he knew that his dad knew that,
he was
yes,
right. But I would think, yeah, that would be.
yeah.
Everybody saw Mr. Rogers as their dad, so
Yes.
if you're really his son, I would think you'd get a little. I think I would.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Fred would have been aware of that too, and I would imagine have tried in every way to ameliorate it.
He gave of himself a lot, and you just had to know that that's how things were going to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and take what you could get.
Is that the way? So
Yeah.
that's the way.
Yeah.
Okay, as much as I can have them,
Yes,
I'll
yes,
enjoy it.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
you were willing to share. You had no choice.
No,
You had to share them.
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh.
And that was okay, because, you know, he had plenty of love
Oh.
to go around. So,
I remember that he's just such a genuinely good soul. But not a saint. Tell me he's
at
not
all.
a saint.
Not,
Because people,
for sure not.
thank you. Because then,
For sure not.
I mean, he wouldn't be human.
No, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. I'd
And
ask him
and
to
I
tell me
think-
something terrible Mr. Rogers has done, but I won't.
And I think that there were, I've come upon many people who he wasn't their cup of tea, you know.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I just think, no, that's right. He wouldn't have been. You know?
So you said he was so disciplined. Did he swim every day?
From after he was about 40, he did. Yes.
Every
Yes,
day at the PAA.
That kind of discipline grew as he got old. I think he realized that, you know, flexibility was going. He had this slim body.
Yeah.
And even he wasn't inclined to gain weight, really.
Well, he didn't eat much. Did he?
Well, he ate enough. Yes.
Yeah.
He ate enough. But as he grew, he became more disciplined about it. I remember as a young person, he loved sweets, and I'll have one of each kind of thing, you know.
Oh, wow.
I'll have some pie and some cake and some, you know, whatever you have
And it
that's
didn't
really good.
Never
And-
gained a pound.
No. The kind of person, those of us
Yeah.
who have to
Dang.
deal with it would like to kick.
Wow.
Oh, my.
I remember he surprised me once by saying he didn't think, he wasn't wild about Thomas the Tank Engine and stuff like that he didn't think inanimate objects should speak. Is
Oh,
that, do
that's
I have that? No,
I don't
any of it?
remember that. It's possible.
Yeah, I think.
Because we named our cars.
You did?
They didn't speak to us, but we named them.
Who did? He did or you did?
Wait, I think maybe he did too, yes.
So what were some of the cars' names? Which
Well-
ones do you remember fondly?
Let me see. Well, you took the kind of car it was, and you had a similar first name
Oh, okay.
to the car. So his last car that he had was a Honda,
So.
and he named it Happy Honda. So it was happy. But some of the cars had names, and we had a friend who had a babysitter when he was growing up named Mrs. Carson. So he called his car Mrs. Carson. So but that's different than we just.
Right.
Mine is right now is
What?
Little Lady. It's a Lexus, and it's called Little Lady.
Do you say hi to it? Well, hello, little
Not
lady.
really.
Yeah.
I don't talk to it.
Jonathan is asking, what can Joanne tell us about Mr. Rogers that would surprise us?
Surprising.
Or that no one knows? She's not going to tell us something no one knows.
Oh, I would be glad to. Let me think, though.
That'd be the same
I don't
thing,
know that
surprise.
anything's very surprising to me. So
How about this? He had a bawdy sense of humor.
he had a what?
Bawdy?
Body. Oh, he laughed at body things.
There you go.
I don't
Okay.
think he ever told body
But he
things.
laughed.
Yes, and
he
would
laughed.
and he would ask me to tell them. And I love telling them.
Well, I know you brought down the house the other day at you said a bad word. Everybody was like, what? Mrs. Roger just said, I like to, what?
And we had these phrases from body stories. Just the last line, just the punchline. And when certain things would happen, we could just look at each other and say the punchline and have a hilarious time.
Can you give us a punchline, even if it's bawdy?
Am I allowed to say sweet ass?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
you
right.
can say anything.
Well,
This is,
there was a story of a classmate of ours at Rollins. His father had an upholstery place, and in their town there was a cab driver who was a woman, and she was a character, the village character. And so she came and she said, Larry, I need these seats fixed. The springs are all coming through. And so he said, okay, I'll do it. And so she came back to get it. And he said, well, now they're all done, and I want you to sit in the car and just tell me, So she climbed in and she sat down and she said, ooh, Larry, this makes my sweet ass smile.
So that's one of them. Ooh, Larry, this makes my sweet ass smile.
So we all knew it. My two-piano partner knew it, and her family knew it.
Well, what kind of an incident would set that one off, though? I'm trying to think.
Well, you sit in a very comfortable thing, and you say, ooh, that makes my sweet ass smile. That's really a nice thing to say. You feel it really good. Feel comfortable. Oh, Lynn, you're so bad.
You're bad. You once said, I'll tell you something that shocked me early into our friendship. You once sent me an email, and it was a picture of a guy in a wetsuit.
Uh-huh.
And the wetsuit was all blown up. Do you remember what the punchline was?
I don't.
Well, it was a punchline that just thought, Mrs. Rogers sent me this?
Oh, dear.
The punchline, so he's in a wetsuit and it's all blown up. And it said, never fart in a wetsuit.
Now, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
See, you like that. Well, you liked it then. So you said, I got to share this with, who would would appreciate this.
Well,
So
that was as Fred would say, it all comes back to elimination.
It does.
But-
This is true.
But he was very funny about farting too.
He liked fart
yes,
jokes,
yes,
so he
yes,
had a scatological sense of
definitely.
humor too.
Yes, yes.
So there you have it, Jonathan. I hope that satisfies you, Mr. Rogers. Would he tell them himself, or did you have to tell him?
Well,
He liked fart jokes.
sometimes it was just a matter of being in a group of people, and I would look over and things may be very serious, and he might just lift one cheek, and smile. That's surprising enough. Isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, I love it. I love it. You'll have to tell Tom Hanks to do that.
Well, we're having a good time.
Well, Laura says, you're the cutest lady. I'm enjoying the show so much. I still sing the theme song from the show. Mr. Rogers was such a kind gentleman as well as a gentleman.
Oh.
He is missed all over the country. Lots of smiles. A feel-good show.
Thank you, my dear.
And
Thank
Laura
you.
says, and I love the joke, too.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. This has always been a wonderful audience, Lynn.
Well, I know.
And
It is. They are.
It's a great reward for you. I
you
hope
sweetie.
you know that.
Yeah, well, they appreciate good people. God. So you don't do the piano anymore?
I don't. No.
Is it something you really miss? Or you very quickly came to terms with it? What, your fingers got a little
My fingers got
arthritic?
and
Right.
I think it's hard for people. I had a friend one time who just I think that she needed to play. She needed
Had to, yeah.
to perform. I mean, is what I mean, not to play, but to perform. And
Okay.
And finally she was playing this one recital, and it was just painful. And I said, "Don't let that happen to you."
You said, get out before
Yes.
that
And
happens.
so when it got to the point that it was beginning not to be fun anymore, I was having to rearrange chords and definitely fingerings, and and I thought pretty soon people will not
Wanna,
enjoy it,
Oh.
and so I said to my partner, because what I was doing was two piano work.
right,
And so I said to my partner, it's time for me to
hang it up.
hang it up. And she was understanding. And
Well,
she
you-
continued to play.
She did.
She has continued to play. But she's remarkable.
Did you had two grand pianos
Yes,
in your
yes.
living room?
Yes, I did.
And did you and Fred ever do two?
Oh,
hand-
yes, we
Okay.
did.
Oh, what
We
fun!
did. Yes, we had that kind of, we had music in common, and we would, sometimes you feel, how do people live without that?
Without music.
Yeah.
There's some things that, I was thinking, how do people live without animals? Because I'm missing my cat.
Yes,
but,
of course.
So animals for a lot of people, music as
Yes.
well.
Yes. I think
Can't
that's
imagine a world without music. Anyway, you can hear, you put out a whole bunch of outlets, so if
Yes,
people want to find your work,
They can look it up
just under Joanne Rogers?
Amazon.
Dang, Amazon.
Rogers and Morrison,
Rogers and Morrison.
piano duo.
Okay. She's really good.
I think they have two albums there.
Okay. So, Ferranti and Teicher.
Sort of. It's that idea anyway. It's classical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they any good?
Yes.
They
were
were.
very
They
good.
were legitimately
They could
good.
do both light classics and heavy
Yeah.
classics.
Did you know them?
No, I didn't. They were a little before my time. Little. Just
Wait a minute.
Before
a little
our
before your time. Well, then how do
little-
I know them?
Well,
lady. I mean, you're older than me.
I am very much older.
Not
Well,
bad, but
they made a big splash when they were playing.
like in the 50s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And we weren't playing until the 70s, 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you were a young mother. Well,
I
how the hell did you do all
put
that?
the piano down for a while.
You did. You would have had to.
I did for about 9 years.
Yeah.
It was hard to get back.
You know, I can't believe Fred's gone for what, 15 years?
15.
That
Unbelievable.
damn.
And I think that the amazing thing is that he's been around all that time.
Hasn't
you
he?
know?
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Who would have thought?
Oh, thank God. Is that, it's comforting to you, I
Oh,
would
it's-
imagine.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
But I have to
I'm-
say, I didn't, you know, now that I'm advanced in years, boy, he was taken too soon.
Yes.
And it was stomach cancer, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
here's a guy who never put anything bad into his body.
I know.
Who took care of himself.
He certainly did.
It's just a cruel, I'm sorry, I'm still.
Yes, it is.
mad.
But again, you have to, I guess, look at the genes. And he had so much cancer in his family history,
He did.
on his father's side particularly. And yeah, but you never know. You know,
No,
it's
you don't.
funny. We in this country we screen for colon problems.
Yes.
In Asia, they screen for stomach problems.
Really?
Yes.
So there's more stomach cancer
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And they eat so well too. What was that?
Yes, they do. That was
Yeah.
just my bad.
So, well, I don't wanna get us on this
But,
depressing thing, but yeah, so,
But
it's
it
a crapshoot.
was fast.
Life
it was
is-
pretty fast.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Damn.
yeah.
I just wanna go on record. Damn.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Seriously, damn.
Seriously, damn. And there was this stuff in the news the other day about the Fred Rogers Company. I mean, nominated for tons of Emmy awards. I mean, he would be,
And they're about to get a Peabody Award
they're about to get a Peabody now
Yes.
too.
as
For,
as an award to them, as well as kind of a remembrance award for Fred this year. You know, they're putting it all together. And
now, you had told us earlier in the show that when all these people wanted to give awards, you said, I'm not Fred.
no,
But you must, you do go to these. You do?
some of them. I will not go to this.
The Peabody.
This will be the Rogers production company. Rogers
Oh, okay,
Productions. Yeah.
okay.
And
And the stamp,
yes, the
the
stamp. It's in the,
which you can't get. I bet you got some.
sorry, I got a couple of sheets of them.
Great.
Yes, but I ordered them online.
They
You
didn't
can get
give
them
you.
all.
They didn't give you some. They gave you some.
No, they didn't. But they gave me other nice things, you know, for the day.
Like what?
Things that I didn't know, I didn't understand that well. But they were collectors kind of things.
Oh, philatelist stuff.
Yes, yes.
Like, what the hell were they?
Um,
I mean, it wasn't the stamps
well, it was yes,
mean-
there was a stamp on it.
on it.
Yeah.
Was it the thing, the engraving thing?
Kind of the first day cover or something they call it. and
Okay,
and a nice
well.
letter from the postmaster and things like that. You know, it was nice. It was nice.
You
And
must,
then the event itself
was very.
was very nice. They really are a class act, the post office.
Hey, did you hear that?
The
You
post
never hear
office-
that thing.
The post office is a class act.
And you got that from Joanne Rogers. Fred didn't call you Joanne.
No, well, he called me by my first name, and he started out doing it because he was teasing me because I thought it was a prudish name.
Well, see, I got a prudish first name and nobody.
You have
that?
Ida. I always call you Ida Lynn.
I know. I do.
I'm Sarah Joanne.
Sarah.
So he called me Sarah.
Sarah.
My
I
two
like-
piano partner
and
calls me Sarah. Calls me
Sarah
Sarah.
is a
She calls
beautiful
me Sari.
name. Sari.
Sari.
I think Sarah's, well, who the heck knows?
Anyway,
You answered it.
I do too now. I love the name
It's
Sarah.
beautiful, and
Yeah.
it's not old fashioned.
No, I like it better than Joanne, actually.
And Ida. Ida, on the other hand, has remained resolutely old fashioned. Will not be, brought, all these old names are being resurrected, but I don't see anybody naming their little cute babies Ida. Or Bertha.
But Ida Lynn?
Ida Lynn.
That's lovely.
Ida Lynn. I don't think. And Lynn's
From clear up
insipid.
in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I think we're out of time.
Are we
Oh, no, we're
really?
not. Yes, we are.
Are we really?
It's past 11.
How did that happen?
I don't know. And of course, she's standing in the lobby downstairs, and of course,
Are we still talking?
yeah, you got a million friends, so we gotta now, we have to stop at your friends.
Oh, yes,
On the
yes,
second floor.
we'll do that.
This was such a pleasure.
Are we still on the air?
Yeah! I'll kick you under the table when we're on. So you gotta watch out for hot mics. The next thing you know, she'll
yes,
be like
I'm-
swearing up a storm, saying something totally inappropriate.
Yes, something
Yeah.
that's not allowed.
Not allowed. But
But Lynn, I have to tell you, I'm very proud of you because of your makeover recently.
Oh, thank you. I lost a whole bunch of weight.
Oh, she looks so gorgeous. She's got on slim jeans. Ooh,
Ooh,
wow.
I'll
Ooh.
tell you, yeah, man, I am looking good.
You are,
Yeah.
and you're sounding good.
I am. I'm okay.
Yes.
I turned over a new leaf. I'm finally living in a healthy way.
Yes,
Not something I was doing for most of my life.
the positive.
Right, right.
I'm proud.
You're
of
so
you.
sweet.
I'm so
Thank
proud
you.
of
I'm proud of me too.
you. That's
So
good.
we.
That's even better.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's another song of Fred's. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I hope that you are proud of you too.
there you go. I think it's, oh, you sweetie. Joanne Rogers, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. You're
I
a
talk
joy.
too much.
No, I told you on the way down here. I said, you're going to be doing the talking. So I know you enjoyed it. And
I did enjoy it.
you did.
I
I was
did.
talking to them.
Oh,
I'm glad you
okay.
did. Well, but I'm glad you did too. So then everybody had a good time.
We did.
Thank you so very much. And I will be back tomorrow. And we'll get
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We'll start the day tomorrow with a song for
you. All right, that's it.
That's it.
Wave goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
You're wonderful. They loved it.
Well, it was just a visit with you.
Huh?
It
It
was
was
just-
fun. It was fun. Isn't that one nice? This Laura Harlow is, believe it or not, my brother's secretary.
Oh my
Who
goodness.
found me
I have your